So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're running on empty with your body and mind screaming for a pause, but there's just one more email, one more task, or one more responsibility that demands your attention? Well, trust me, we've all been there. And it's in these moments of utter exhaustion that we realize that fatigue is more than just a physical sensation. It's a signal. It's a call to action from our bodies and our minds, pleading for change. Welcome to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, where we explore the keys to unlocking your full potential and living your best life. I'm your host, Jose Johnson. Whether you're looking to make a breakthrough, overcome a challenge, or simply live with greater clarity, joy, and purpose, you'll find the tools and inspirations you need right here. So let's start your journey towards personal mastery and growth right now. Welcome back to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, your go-to resource for practical tips, insightful research, and inspiring stories to help you unlock your full potential. I am your host, Jose Johnson, and I'm an expert in the fields of mindfulness, mindset, and peak performance. And I'm so glad to have you with me today. And today we're embarking on a journey to conquer a silent adversary that many of us face in our daily lives: fatigue. Fatigue, that all too familiar foe that stealthily undermines our zest for life, dims our brightest ambitions, and let's face it, makes your comfy bed the most seductive place on earth. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're running on empty with your body and mind screaming for a pause, but there's just one more email, one more task, or one more responsibility that demands your attention? Well, trust me, we've all been there. And it's in these moments of utter exhaustion that we realize that fatigue is more than just a physical sensation. It's a signal. It's a call to action from our bodies and our minds, pleading for change. And that's precisely what we're going to explore today. How to recognize this call, understand its roots, and most important of all, how to answer it with strategies that reinvigorate our lives, fuel our passions, and restore our energy. So whether you're feeling the weight of fatigue right now or simply want to arm yourself against future bouts, well, this episode is for you. Together, we'll uncover the secrets to battling burnout and energizing your life in ways you may not have thought possible. So if you're ready to kick fatigue to the curb and recharge your batteries, well, grab a comfortable seat, maybe a cup of your favorite energizing beverage, and let's get this show on the road. In today's fast-paced world where the lines between work and rest blur, fatigue has become a constant companion for many of us. But to effectively combat this adversary, we must first understand it. So let's break down the mystery of fatigue, peel back its layers, and reveal its true core. So let's start with the nature of fatigue. Fatigue, in its essence, is more than just a feeling of tiredness or exhaustion. It's our body's signal that something is out of balance, be it physical, mental, or emotional. There are three main types of fatigue, and though they may feel similar, their origins and their impacts can be quite different. First off is physical fatigue. Now, this type is the one most of us are familiar with. It's the muscle soreness after a workout, the weariness after a day of manual labor, or simply the need to rest after any physical activity. It's our body's way of saying, hey, I need some downtime to repair and recharge. Next up is mental fatigue. Mental fatigue creeps in after prolonged periods of cognitive activity. Think marathon meetings, endless exams, or the constant bombardment of information we face daily. It manifests itself as difficulty concentrating, irritability, and a decrease in productivity, signaling that the brain needs a break. And finally, let's address emotional fatigue. Now, this type, including compassion fatigue, often goes unnoticed, but can be just as debilitating. It arises from emotional stress, such as caring for a sick loved one, enduring long periods of emotional toil, or even from the constant empathy we extend to others, draining our emotional reserves. It leaves us feeling emotionally exhausted, less empathetic, and can lead to a sense of detachment or indifference. So, what are the root causes of fatigue? Understanding the root causes of fatigue can be a game changer in our battle against it. While the triggers can be varied, there are some common culprits for us to watch out for. So, here are the top 5 causes of fatigue. First off is poor sleep. Inadequate or poor quality sleep can wreak havoc on both our physical and our mental stamina. Number 2 is a lack of proper nutrition. Our bodies are like finely tuned machines requiring the right fuel to function optimally. A lack of essential nutrients can lead to a significant drop in our energy levels. And this goes way beyond food and water. It also is impacted by the quality of the air that we breathe and our exposure to sunlight. Number 3 is stress and overwork. In our quest to excel, we often push our limits, leading to stress and overwork, which are prime contributors to all types of fatigue. Number 4 is a lack of physical activity. Regular physical activity boosts our energy levels, while a sedentary lifestyle can lead to increased fatigue. And finally, number 5, emotional overload. Constant exposure to emotionally charged situations without adequate recovery can lead to emotional fatigue. Recognizing and managing this overload is key to maintaining our emotional well-being. When we consider the impact of fatigue, the consequences of unchecked fatigue extend beyond just feeling tired. Physically, it can compromise our immune system, making us more susceptible to illnesses. Mentally, it can cloud our judgment, reducing our ability to make decisions and diminish our overall productivity and creativity. But here's the kicker. Fatigue doesn't just affect us on an individual level. It ripples out, affecting our relationships, our work, and ultimately our quality of life. It can be a barrier to achieving personal mastery and living a fulfilled life. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The good news is, with the right strategies and a bit of self-awareness, we can manage fatigue and reclaim our energy. And today's episode is dedicated to doing just that. So as we move forward, remember, understanding fatigue is the first step towards overcoming it. Well, now that we've unpacked the types and causes of fatigue, it's time to arm ourselves with the tools and knowledge to fight back. Whether you're battling physical, mental, or emotional fatigue, the following strategies are your arsenal for reclaiming your energy and vitality. So let's start with improving our sleep quality. The first step to getting better sleep is to establish a sleep routine. Remember that consistency is key. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time each day to regulate your body's internal clock. Next, create a restful environment. Make sure your bedroom is conducive to sleep, meaning cool, dark, and quiet. Consider using earplugs, eye masks, or white noise machines if necessary. And finally, limit your screen time. The blue light from screens can interfere with your sleep cycles. Aim to disconnect from electronic devices at least an hour before bedtime. Now, let's take a bite out of how to maximize your nutrition for energy. Well, we can start with eating balanced meals. Focus on a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. These foods provide sustained energy and essential nutrients. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Dehydration can lead to fatigue. Ensure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. The National Academy of Medicine suggests that an adequate intake of daily fluids for men is about 13 cups, and it's 9 cups for healthy women. Now, this also takes into account that up to 20% of our fluid intake can come from food sources like vegetables. And here's a rule of thumb for you. Drink before you're thirsty. When your mouth is dry, you're probably already dehydrated. And do your best to limit coffee and sugar. Now, while they offer a quick energy boost and taste delicious, they can also lead to crashes. So aim for moderation and consider healthier energy sources like green teas or snacks with protein and fiber. Now let's talk about physical activity. Make sure that you're getting regular exercise. Engaging in regular physical activity can actually increase your energy levels. Find activities that you enjoy. And if you engage in outdoor activities like walking or cycling, you also get the added benefits of sunlight and fresh air. And these are crucial elements for improving our physical, mental, and emotional health. And don't overlook the importance of taking short activity breaks. If you're sedentary, especially due to work, take short breaks to stand, stretch, or walk around. These mini breaks can help alleviate physical and mental fatigue. Now let's move on to our next category, mindfulness and stress management. Practicing mindfulness techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, Tai Chi, or yoga can reduce stress and improve mental clarity, combating mental and emotional fatigue. And if you really want to fend off stress, set boundaries. Learn to say no and set limits to avoid overcommitment. Prioritizing your well-being is crucial in managing stress and preventing burnout. Now, let's talk about emotional self-care. One way to boost your emotional reserves is to engage in activities that bring you joy. Make time for hobbies and interests that recharge your emotional batteries. And make sure to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment and give yourself permission to rest. And remember that it's okay to seek support. Sharing your feelings with friends, families, a therapist, or a coach can lighten your emotional load and combat emotional fatigue. Now, here are a few tips to help you reduce decision fatigue. Start by simplifying your choices. Reduce the number of decisions that need to be made by planning meals, outfits, and routines in advance. Have you ever wondered why Steve Jobs always wore the same outfit? Well, this is the reason why. Next, prioritize your decisions. Tackle important decisions first thing in the morning when your mental energy is at its peak. And finally, limit your options. Too many choices can be overwhelming. Try to limit your options to a manageable number to ease the decision-making process. In our journey towards personal mastery and growth, understanding how to effectively fight fatigue is a crucial skill. By implementing these strategies, we can enhance our energy levels, improve our overall well-being, and unlock our full potential. Remember, combating fatigue is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It requires a holistic approach that addresses physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Experiment with these strategies to find what works best for you, and be patient with yourself in the process. Now let's talk about building resilience against fatigue. Resilience is our shield in the battle against fatigue. It's the strength that allows us to face challenges head on, recover from setbacks, and emerge even stronger. Building resilience is a proactive approach to not just fighting fatigue, but thriving in spite of it. So let's explore how we can cultivate this invaluable trait. Let's start with the importance of cultivating a growth mindset. A major ingredient in developing a growth mindset is learning to embrace challenges. View challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. Each challenge overcome is a step towards greater resilience. And always try to learn from your mistakes. Instead of fearing failure, see it as a learning experience. Understanding what went wrong and why can prevent future fatigue and foster resilience. Next, work on establishing a supportive network. Make sure that you are actively seeking connections. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. A strong support network can provide encouragement and advice when fatigue sets in. and be open to receiving help. Sometimes the bravest thing that you can do is to ask for help. Sharing your struggles can lighten your load and strengthen your resilience. Practicing self-care is another crucial component in building our ability to bounce back from fatigue. If you're in a chronic battle with fatigue, your first step is to focus on yourself and prioritize your well-being. Regular self-care is non-negotiable in building resilience. This includes healthy eating, adequate sleep, exercise, and mindfulness practices. And don't forget to set those boundaries. Know your limits and communicate them. Setting healthy boundaries protects your energy and prevents emotional and mental fatigue. Another strategy for building our resilience is developing our emotional intelligence. Start by recognizing and managing your emotions. Being aware of and understanding your emotions can help you navigate through times of stress and fatigue more effectively, and focus on cultivating empathy. Understanding the emotions of others can improve your relationships and support network, contributing to your resilience. Now let's talk about flexibility. Resilience and the ability to stay flexible and adapt to change, well, they go hand in hand. Mental flexibility allows you to adjust more easily to changing circumstances, reducing the potential for fatigue. And when stress levels rise, well, it's time to become more innovative in your problem solving. Look for creative solutions to challenges. This mindset can reduce stress and make handling fatigue so much easier. Now let's talk about maintaining a positive outlook. And that starts with focusing on what you can control. Concentrate your energy on actions and thoughts that are within your control rather than worrying about what you cannot change. So perhaps you've heard of the Serenity prayer. It goes, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, too many of us ignore this and use what I call the stress recipe, which is trying to change the things we cannot change, failing to change the things that we can, and lacking the wisdom to know the difference. When we do this, we waste precious time and our even more precious energy. And one simple tool that we can use to increase our positive outlook is just to practice gratitude. Regularly acknowledging what you're thankful for can improve your mood and resilience to fatigue. And finally, make sure that you're empowering yourself with knowledge. Stay informed. Understanding the factors that contribute to fatigue can help you to avoid them. Knowledge is power in the fight against fatigue. And educate yourself on stress management techniques. Learn techniques for time management, stress reduction, and energy conservation to better manage your fatigue. Take a course, read a book, listen to podcasts, especially this one, or seek a coach or mentor to help you fill your knowledge gaps. Building resilience is a dynamic and ongoing process. It requires attention, intention, effort, and a commitment to self-improvement. By developing resilience, you not only prepare yourself to face fatigue, but also empower yourself to navigate the complexities of life with confidence and strength. So as we wrap up today's exploration on fighting fatigue and building resilience, remember that the journey towards personal mastery is both challenging and rewarding. Each step you take towards understanding and managing fatigue, and each strategy you implement to build resilience, bring you closer to unlocking your full potential. So as we draw this episode to a close, I want to acknowledge you for taking the time to explore the multifaceted world of fatigue with me. Today, we've journeyed through understanding the various types of fatigue. We dove into actionable strategies to combat them, and we discussed the critical importance of building resilience. Remember that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So choose one or two strategies that we've discussed that resonate with you and integrate them into your daily routine. Whether it's improving your sleep hygiene, practicing mindfulness, or setting emotional boundaries. Each small change is a step towards greater well-being. A great place to start is learning to listen to your body and your mind. Pay attention to the signals your body and mind send you. Fatigue is a message, not just a state of being. By becoming more attuned to these messages, you can proactively manage your energy levels and prevent burnout. Commit to continuous growth. Keep in mind that the strategies to fight fatigue are not static. They need to evolve as we do. Stay curious, seek new knowledge, and be open to adjusting your approach as you learn more about what works best for you. And don't overlook the power of a supportive community. You're not alone in this journey. Engage with friends, families, or communities who share your commitment to personal mastery and growth. Together, you can support each other in overcoming challenges and celebrating successes. So as we conclude today's episode, I encourage you to reflect on what we've discussed and how you can apply it to your life. Fighting fatigue is not just about countering tiredness. It's about empowering yourself to live your life to its fullest with energy, clarity, and joy. So thank you for joining me on this journey today. And if this episode has inspired you, touched you, or sparked a flame of curiosity within you, I encourage you to share it with someone in your life who might also benefit from these insights. And as always, remember, it is what it is, but it becomes what you make it. So make it great.